Hello and welcome back to more Let's Play Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. I am the Max Infiltrates. In the last part, we pretty much did everything that there is to do. In that, we got all the Cobalt Star Shards that we need in order to get into the evil Shrew Castle that used to be the Mushroom Kingdom Castle, except, you know, aliens and stuff, you know, that sort of thing came along and we have to go and fix that. Which is interesting. I mean, I know that despite the time travel, not a lot of time travel based rules have been taking place in this entire game, with the exception of EGAD getting like information from his past self that allowed him to make something that we needed in that time. That was pretty cool, but other than that, it doesn't really do anything like that. But if in fact the game did abide by those rules of time travel, the fact that the Mushroom Kingdom Castle has, in fact, not transformed into the Shrew Castle in the present, it sort of implies, at least I think, that we are ultimately victorious. Then again, you know, it's not really, not really abiding by those rules. Anyway, I have to ask what the point of this room is. I mean, I know it has the time portal that'll get us exactly where do we need to go for the final part of the game, but why? That wasn't always there. You know, this used to just be a large empty room with 6 statues of Princess Peach in it, and I'm not entirely sure I understand why that has a need to exist. But, it's there, I suppose. Anyway, one final jolt back into the past. It's time to take this battle straight to the Shrew Princess herself. Whack her on the head, take back our princess, and skedaddle back on to the present. And when I mean whack her on the head, I mean like completely smack her head off. It's just we gotta do it. That's how it works. By hinges and handles! The Cobalt Stars reacting with extreme agitification. Your constant desire to make up words fills me with nothing but scorn and anger. Well, please stop. Anyway, we have enough of the shards in order to open up this door. Convenient that you don't need the entire thing. I'm sure completing this, you know, entire star isn't going to result in anything terrible. I mean, my goodness, what would the odds of that be? Stupendous! Now we can gain access, if you follow. The troops have certainly made their stronghold, have made this their stronghold, whatever. Loathing cycle activated. Remain alert and keep your eyeballs open, all of you. Back to adventure. Luigi is less than enthused with this prospect. However, he is quickly peer pressured into being a hero once again. I mean, if you're gonna succumb to peer pressure, it might as well be for the purposes of ending an alien invasion. So, in this specific instance, and only this instance, I will abide. That is an okay thing. Anyway, we've got more of this nonsense. Oh boy, nope. We've got those Tanoombas again, except this time, they are more durable and all around just a bigger pain in the butt. Also, I guess I completely forgot that I even did any of this. Mario and Luigi, they are slightly stronger now. Not by a ton, but by enough. Also, Luigi is wearing a badge that heals him every single time it's his turn. Seeing as how he's the tank of the group, I figure it was a fitting thing to give him. And I combed the desert for what felt like hours looking for beans, but I finally managed to find enough to get Mario that Utilifree badge, so he has unlimited badge items now. Bro items now, you know, so, you know, the thing that's really useful. Haha, yes, that. Anyway. Alright, I didn't mean to do that, but I guess maybe Luigi got a lot more HP. Good for him. He deserves it. He's been working hard this entire time. Alright. And is for some reason much braver than adult Luigi. I'm not entirely sure how that's supposed to work. Anyway, tally-ho! It's time for one final send the babies into a crawl space and light the way and hope they don't fall into a pit of spikes. Ew, this is a very disturbingly common thing we've been doing over the course of this game. And, alright, instantaneous failure, just add water. Okay, let's try that old number one more time. A little bit more zazz, pip, and all that other good stuff. Alright, and booyah! I unnecessarily took a gigantic risk by doing that. Okay, let's be careful. There we go. And the lights very nicely turned themselves back on briefly to let us know exactly what that button did before going back to the darkness. So that's pretty cool. Yep, alright. Oh, now we just... Oh, okay, then we fall off. It's that rushing thing. I think it's an involuntary reflex whenever I start Let's Playing, or at least when I'm recording myself playing the video games. I always feel, I don't know, I think due to the fact that I'm talking and I'm using so much energy and all that other good stuff, that I suppose that it like, for some reason, instills itself inside of me that I need to do everything just as quickly as I'm motor mouthing the entire time, you know? Which is, in fact, far from the case. I can take things as slowly as I possibly need to. I don't need to bend to the will of a hypothetical person that would be angry that I'm moving slowly. I mean, it's possible that nobody cares whatsoever. Either way, we finally got that noise out of the way. Hit the button, and, suggestive placement. I'm sure that wasn't intentional, but it is, so weird. I just hit the button, and that activates a bridge for us. Ain't that a big old pile of howdy-doody? We don't have to go to the area on the left of the map, because that's just the shortcut tubes that we'll be unlocking along the way. As is, we can just keep going this way, and then, you know what? Let's just take care of you. Might as well fight you at least once. I'm sure we're definitely going to end up having to fight you multiple times, but I shall try my best to avoid as much conflict as possible. Oh, okay. He has turned into a very angry thing. Okay, how about... No, you stop with that. There we go. All right, and ta-da! See? Mario now has unlimited items. Luigi, however, does not. So if you only have one bro item left, and Luigi were to use it, it would go away, and then Mario would no longer have access to an unlimited supply of them. So make sure you always have at least one in stock if you plan on using a lot of it. And I'm more than capable, and I'm allowing myself to just throw bro items willy-nilly now that I technically have an unlimited supply of them. And then we got a custard in the buttocks by a no-good Tanumba. Awesome, awesome. Yep, okay, yep, this is happening. All right, thank you, very inconvenient. And balloon! Not having any of that today, no sir. Luckily, Luigi can take as much damage as is required of him. Mario, on the other hand, is in fact still not quite good at this, but he is freakishly powerful, so it all kinda balances out in the end, I guess. Alright, and oh boy, yep, nope, okay. What makes them decide on how often to spin, I'm not entirely sure. Either way. Oh, by the way, you remember that stupid love bubble thingy? I finally figured out its weird trajectory thing. If it starts higher off the ground, then it'll do the down and then up swoop. But if it lowers itself like almost perfectly to the ground, then both brothers have to jump over it. So I figured that noise out long after it would be useful, but at least I did. I don't want people thinking I'm a complete and total fool. It's once again the whole recording things. I feel the unnecessary need and this weird obligation deep down inside of me that I'm supposed to be doing everything flawlessly, which of course puts a bunch of unneeded stress on all of my senses and receptors and whatnot, making the whole thing a big old pile of confusing mess. So in my efforts to be perfect, I end up making many mistakes. So how about that noise? Alright, so what we gotta do in this place is mighty inconvenient. Anyway, actually, we should probably take care of at least a few of the monsters in this place. Oh, goody goody gumdrops. It's those freaking Rex things from Super Mario World, except this time they're Shrews. Because of course. You know what? This is actually the perfect use for the Mix Flower. To deal lots of damage to many opponents all at once. The Copy Flower is really more suited for fighting, like, singular enemies at a time, or bosses. This is perfect for situations such as this. Just keep on throwing all the fireballs. Whoop, whoop. There we go. Boom, shakalaka. And that takes care of them. Alright, and you get a lot of experience for that. Luigi even levels up from it, but Mario is still behind because reasons. Alright, Luigi, get yourself some more power. 95. You know what? Fine. Good enough by me. Oh, okay, did not mean to push that button. Alright, that's gonna look really interesting with my incredibly weird layout of the video. Alright. So we're gonna be running around this place a little bit, so it's actually pretty smart to get rid of a few of these enemies, because we're gonna have to split the bros up, and they're nowhere near as effective separated as they are together. So, whoop, bada boop, bada boop, bada boop, ba 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 ba. Okay, woohoo! Alright, let's see. I guess I'll go with the red shell. Let's see if we can do it. Just gotta spin, spin, spin to win. Dang it. See, that's the thing. You attach the extra button of spinning the baby, and it all of a sudden becomes significantly more complicated for your freaking motor skills. I ain't got none of those. Get out of here with that. So eventually, it just gets so fast that you realistically should just kind of stop. Unless you're freakishly good at this sort of thing, and I know that there are a lot of people that are, so... Hey, if you can do it infinitely at its, like, most efficient, then you go right on ahead. Please do. Be all that you can be, and be very impressive and all that good stuff. Right, there, now they're gone. Thank you. Friggin' Shrew, Galumba, Tanuki Yukis, and all that other stuff. Alright, let's see. Mario, how about you get yourself some HP? I think that's the first time I've upgraded Mario's HP in one of those stat-boosting minigames. Alright, and nope. Alright, so enemies only respawn once you've completely and totally left the area, so that's pretty handy-dandy. In retrospect, I really should have attacked the Rex, because his attacks are completely and totally uncounterable if you don't jump on him. Just like in Super Mario World, you gotta flatten him. One of his favorite moves is to actually just charge full head in front of you, and he'll try and, you know, just bowl you over. And when he's at his maximum height, it's physically impossible to jump over him. So, yeah, you might want to do yourself a favor and shrink him down a little bit, because my goodness. Now, where exactly the idea for an accordion squeezy dinosaur came from, I don't know. There are a lot of very odd creatures that have been created over the 30-plus years that the Mario Brothers have been around. That is far from the weirdest. Anyway, alright. Take care of a few of those dudes. Take a look over here. Alright. Now, babies, you're weaker, so I'm gonna need you to just sort of chill here, while the big bros go way the dingle-dong onto the other side of this entire castle. Oh, boy. Although, props to it actually being, you know, Mushroom Castle, except all Shrewified and stuff. I mean, you compare them, they're very similar. I mean, there's a few obvious differences. Mostly the death traps. Last I checked, that there weren't a lot of death traps in Peach's Castle. At least not initially. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know that for fact. I might be making a brash assumption here, but she doesn't seem like the type to put that sort of stuff in there. Although, maybe she should, because I feel like it would impede Bowser slightly more. So, it's definitely something to think about at the very least. Home security! It's totally a thing that can be worth it. Especially given your... Then again, maybe Princess Peach is completely uninsurable at this point. I mean, that's sort of the thing. The more often it happens, the less likely an insurance company is going to be willing to pay off all that nonsense. It's like, you are just not worth it. You're supposed to never get hurt or kidnapped, and that way we barely ever have to give you any money ever, and you just keep giving us stuff every year. It's a gamble. If you don't have it, when you need it, your life's going to be awful. But there's a very real possibility that you're never going to need it during the entirety of your life. And that could end up being one dingle-dank of a problem. Alright, so, bada bing, bada boom. I completely forgot that I've already put the babies over there. I thought that I didn't. Alright, I guess it's just so second nature. Alright, screwed it up by a nanosecond and a half, so that's pretty great. Alright, now hurry up, up. Oh, or not. Okay, I guess we're given more of a chance. Fine by me! Alright, and that opens up a way for us to go. Although, very obviously, you can tell that there's another blue warp pipe right above the one we just opened, and that is in fact the one we're going to need to get to where we want to go, but for some reason we can't get that right now because life is nothing but pain and suffering, I guess. Ugh. Alright, yep, so many monsters. I'd prefer to deal with very few of them, if given the choice. Because we're more than strong enough to beat the game, so it's just kind of padding. Although the battle system in this game is pretty ding-dang fun, I'm not gonna lie. It's probably... See, here's the thing. You want your RPG to not be terrible? Add timed hits. It works for Legend of Dragoon, it works for Mario and Luigi, it's got all that other stuff. Final Fantasy don't got timed hits, and look what happened to it. Yeah. I mean, that franchise died after 9 came out. Unfortunate. Okay, so yeah, that's the way over there. I guess I had a complete and total brain fart for a moment there. Forgot I was supposed to go down this tube. Alright, so first things first, don't bother going over there because the Shrew, the Shrew saucers running around all over this place. They're just gonna mess up your entire day. And now we've got this plagiarizing jerkwad here thinking, like, oh, I've got an idea. Let's put a young Shrew on an old Shrew's back. I'm sure that will work out. Okay, firstly and foremost, you're going to be hearing from Mario's lawyer. He patent-pended the art of baby kung fu. And they've got a fake-out technique. He chucks the baby, and you assume that's probably going to be something important, like, oh, the baby's going to drop down and do something crazy. And you're going to be instinctively look towards the upper part of the screen so you can figure out what it's going to do and react accordingly. When in fact, it's going to be the friggin' Elder Shrew over there smacking you around with his cane while you're busy looking up in the sky wondering what that baby's going to do. The baby never does anything. It is nothing more than a clever ruse. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's a good fake-out tactic. Although, unfortunately for them, it only ever works once because, I mean, you're gonna know that that's what they're gonna do now, so you'll never bother looking up at said Shrew baby. Anyway, okay, healed ourselves up. Not sure why I decided to show off that fight. It's not like we're not gonna end up fighting about 1,000 more of those stupid guys. Oi. All right, so. There's Shrew flying saucers to the left of you and to the right of you. They're going to shoot at you if you try to get to any of the important parts. So what you got to do, what you got to do first and foremost is you got to chuck a baby. All right. And now we get to do this fun little mini game again. Except this time, for whatever reason, I'm not entirely certain of why, there are weird roadblocks every now and again in this place. Like, check this out. Suddenly, small walls. Just to kind of sort of impede you a little bit. Never on the left side, they're always on the right side. Not entirely sure about the story behind that, but there you go, I suppose. It does make it slightly more difficult. You could get caught up on one of those and everything could go completely belly up. And that would just be a darn shame for everyone. And luckily for us, we do not have to wait for the babies to walk all the way up here. We can just hit this magical switch. And, you know, these are really convenient. I feel like these should make a return in a Mario game. You know, you just hit it and boom, instantaneously anybody I guess could just magically teleport right to where you are. That seems really handy, I'm just saying. Anyway, bada bing, bada boom, smackadee, smackadoo. What we gotta do, and there is a thing that we have to do, is get rid of all those friggin' flying saucers. And in order to do that, we're gonna need a flying saucer of our own. Which we will then disband and not use after we've done. I'm not entirely sure what the plan on that front is, but whatever. We got a mini game here, so let's do this crazy nonsense. And don't worry, Stuffwell's here to say very wrong words about how to do it. Hey, we began moving, didn't we? Ain't that crazy? And then Luigi's all like, hey, we should probably use this to destroy some Shrews. And it's like, what? Control this and blow up people? Why, that's a genius idea. It's especially impressive because Luigi thought of it, and he's stupid. And Stuffwell, you've once again proven why you never show up in a game ever after this one. You're not likable. You're stupid. Your talking briefcase is dumb. I want Starlo. Starlo is charming and cute. Apparently, EGAD gave him the necessary equipment to hack into alien technology. That's very forward-thinking of EGAD, I gotta say. Anyway, to begin doing the thingamabob, hit the switch. Oh, hey, go figure. Hit the giant flying block. Oh, no, absolutely. I don't really need instructions for that. It's kind of obvious. Anyway, this is a very ineffective way to to maneuver a flying saucer, but hit the switch and bada bing, bada boom, you can make the spaceship go up. You can't make it go back down. So that's incredibly frustrating. Did he just say Excelsior Lizard? That's weird. Anyway, he's all like, let's completely ignore Luigi, because I'm a jerk. And I was like, oh, okay, fine, I guess you can have a turn. And then boom, Mario hits the switch, and shmow, zhao, bing bang bow, you shoot out a little laser. Boom. It's instantaneous awesomeness. Now we gotta do it in practice here. I mean, we can't actually practice, but luckily these things can't fight back, so this is your training. And do try to get good at this, because you're going to have to do it again, and it'll be much more difficult. Anyway, those irritative saucers have appeared again. Let's murder some folks. Alright, let's do this crazy thing. No, don't explain to me again, I already know it. In my haste to skip over his blathering, I ended up hitting the button far earlier than I wanted. And then a little more up. And boom shakalaka. Here we go. Perfectitude and all that other stuff. And then all of a sudden, boom, there's more flying saucers. It's crazy. Why they gotta do this? It's awful. Alright, luck cycle initiated indeed. Alright, now we go way up. Okay, we might have gone a little too up. I admit that I might have been a bit overzealous. Boom, there, okay. Now a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Achoo! That is fantastic. Just a little bit of a doop. There we go. Alright. Of course, this never ends there. Nope, nope, nope. Now they've got stupid little pattern things that they've got going on here. That's not frustrating at all. There we go. How dare they employ evasive maneuvers? They should be good enemies and stand perfectly still so that I may wail on them without any trouble. Anyway, we've got even more of them. Woo! Alright, and there we go. As long as you're taking one of them out of the sky, it all works out just fine, and somehow I missed. Somehow, despite my eagle-like accuracy, I missed. That is unfortunate. You'd think being an advanced, I don't know, alien technological doodad, it'd have some form of lock-on function, but hey, what do I know? I'm not an intergalactic warlike race of purple mushroom people, so, oi, there. Huzzah! We saved a world, or at least the surrounding airspace within like a 2-mile radius. Why we don't keep this thing and use it to, you know, blow up all sorts of nonsense is completely beyond me, but there you go. I'm sure leaving this extraordinarily deadly weapon won't at all, in any way, prove to be a terrible idea. I mean, it's not like it's not like any old enemy Shrew could just go in there and start using it themselves on us. The least we could have done was maybe self-destruct it so that it was completely inoperable the second we decided to leave it. It wouldn't be hard. We've got hammers. All you gotta do is... Breaking technology is not difficult. You just gotta smack it around a little bit. Eventually, something will get jiggled loose, and then boom, you'll have to call in tech support, and that's gonna be at least the next 3 hours of your day. Right there, man. Anyway, we need to go through the right pipe, but we can't. Because reasons. Sigh and whatnot. Alright. Onwards and upwards and all that other stuff. Ooing. Okay. I'm pretty sure we need to go through that one? I'm not sure which one. One of these is a shortcut tube. I think this is the one that leads to the shortcut. It is! Ain't that splendorific. Do-do-do-do. And yes, I'm aware I'm making up words like stuff. Well, it's contagious. Ugh. Nobody like none of that. Alright. Now, if we so desired, we could leave. If, you know, you need to buy more items or something, that's an option for you. Alright, first and nextly, we save and continue. There we go. Every time we see one of those, we should probably go ahead and do that, prevent ourselves from having to do anything else, or, you know, doing all that stuff all over again. Alright, so, now, this is the obligatory time to reuse all of the abilities that you've learned over the course of your adventure section of any good video game. It's like, hey, remember that thing that you learned how to do that you haven't had to do in, like, 7 hours of gameplay minimum? Yeah, you gotta do it again. You thought we forgot? Ha ha ha! You better remember how to do it, or you're gonna be in a world of trouble. Either way, boom shakalaka, hit all of the big red switches, and that will give us access to the underside of the giant Princess Shrew castle. Statue, whatever. You know what I meant! Blathering on, constantly. Alright. Once more, fling the babies! Like you always do. Go and bada bing, bada jan, wadang, kadow. Fantastic. You might be wondering, hey, what about that gate thingy over there? Isn't that kind of important? The answer to that is yes. Yes, it is. Well, actually, I guess it's more of a shortcut, but if we could have opened that preemptively, a lot of our problems would be over right now. Just making things needlessly complicated. Either way, there's the princess. It appears she can neither see nor hear us, as if this is some form of television screen. And then we just sort of let Baby Mario smack things around with a hammer. Good job.
Babies. Oh.
No, but that she heard, okay. I mean, it's not like Mario didn't already talk once before, but alright. Is that Mario? He's come for me! It's true, we did. And we brought Luigi. It is possible the impact completed the circuit. Or, I don't know, Peach was distracted and not paying attention. Also possible. I'm locked in a room all the way at the top of the statue. But how are you? Sentence over. Well, that stinks. Huh. The transmission's ended, and I just whacked my microphone with a lot of force. Wow, okay. That's gonna be fun. Sorry about that. The motorization equipment seems destructified. Swear to goodness! Ugh! Someone take his voice receptacle out of here. And yet we've learned that Princess Peach is safe. I believe that pipe must lead to the upper levels. I don't actually have any factual information to back up that statement. I'm just kind of spitballing here. Holy. Alright, keep it going. Yeah, my microphone's all in a weird position now. And because nothing is ever allowed to be easy, I mean, we could easily get to exactly where we want to go if it weren't for this happening at the worst possible moments. That's just fantastic. Thank you, random chain chomp living in the sewer system. Why was a chain chomp even in the sewers? Who put that there? Who flushed down their baby chain chomp? Great. Now we're in the Shrewberized sewer system. I'm sure we won't have to deal with a couple stupid puzzles at all with this nonsense. It's not artificially lengthening the game by a good half hour at all. Oi. Well, we can't solve the problem from here, so we might as well just keep on wandering forward and hoping for the best. Also, that way would lead to another shortcut. Don't need it! Just pointing out that it is a thing that exists. Alright, we've got some Shrew elders and all that good stuff. Alright, let's see what we want. We're gonna want to crush the babies, as is the huge. And then we want to power up the super thing. And here we go. It's now time for more babies caught in a wind tunnel. Because that is a mechanic they decided to go with in this game. Kind of weird, but there you go. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Whoa, Nelly, hang on. Let me make sure that this thing is still powered up to its maximum power. As we continue to keep going, and there we go. All right, now we wait patiently. There we go, okay. For some reason, I guess the mass of the baby is shrunk. I mean, they're still exact, they must weigh the exact same. I mean, that's just physics. So I'm not sure why we need to wait for them to pop back into their original shapes in order to actually do that, but there you go, I guess. All right, onwards and upwards and all that other stuff. All right, first and foremost, launch the babies. Just like so. And if you're so inclined, you could grab all manner of coins and stuff, but I don't care. So we're just gonna move straight on forward and have a wonderful time of it. All right, first things we got to do, I think, is jump down here. Yo, yeah, okay. Now we just gotta smackety this, bring back the drawbridge. Huzzah, there. Now then the big bros can come on over here, because apparently they just can't walk over spikes. Gotta go through an elaborate system of hoojity whatsits. Alright, up. First things then, chuck the babies down. And there's a giant cannon here, and we've only ever used this thing once, so what we have to do is kind of blatantly obvious, if I'm being perfectly honest here. Bada bing, there we go. Okay. Now we do our best to avoid these no-goodnicks. Pop open this thingamajoo. There we go. Grab the babies once more. Again, try to avoid senseless conflict. And also grab as many of these item blocks as we can possibly find. They supply us with a large supply of items, which we should probably be taking use of. I mean, Mario may have unlimited items, but Luigi doesn't. And it would be nice for him to be able to use like, a few of those things too. Because we're going to be doing a lot of boss fighting, let me tell you. We bring down both drawbridges at the same time. Why they're connected to the same weird circuitry, nobody knows. Nobody understands Shrew technology, not even the Shroops. Either way, boom shakalaka. And further in we go. And you thought, oh hey, maybe we're finally done with the sewers? No, the sewers have only yet begun to waste your time. Alright, so at first, everything looks like it's all hunky-dory, super easy and simple, you don't gotta worry about nothing. Just walk on over, this actually is not the way we would need to go, but hey, some free stuff, I'll take it. We don't need any more money at this point in the game, so not sure what the deal with that is. Anyway, alright. So, oh no, there's some spikes. That's a ding-dang problem, ain't it? Okay, well, then we'll just hit this thing, and it opens up a drawbridge. Okay, well, that seems needlessly complicated, but if that's what we gotta do, then that's what we're gonna do. And then we're gonna go over here, then we're gonna hit the thing. Oh, wait, no, of course not. Because that same frigging chain chomp jumps over there, and he's like, oh, nope, I'm eating this. I could eat many, many things, but I chose this thing at this exact moment in time, and now I'm gonna go hide inside these warp pipes. And now I'm gonna spew out whatever these things are. Nobody even knows what those things are. Also, for some reason, the babies are no longer connected to you, so make sure you grab them back. I managed to make the mistake of just leaving the babies behind, and that proved to be a problem. Anyway, all you gotta do, your immediate instinct would be, oh, obviously we gotta hit all 4 of them, and that'll do something. No. You only hit 2 of them, and then it launches a laser in a specific direction. What you want to do is wail on this chain chomp for a while. And basically, you just keep shooting lasers at him until, eventually, you manage to, get rid of him. It's, like I said, needless, completely pointless, really. Not sure why this is part of the game so late. Earlier in the game, maybe, sure, but as is, nah. Anyway, okay, so where are you gonna spring up? Where are you gonna spring up? Oh, the dingle-dang over here. Hey. Friggin' chain chomp, how are you so good at traversing the sewer systems? That don't make no sense. I don't like none of this. And once more. And then, after we hit him the 3rd time, he inexplicably, I don't know, I guess calls up his 4 identical cousins? Not sure what the deal with that is. And, yeah, you just kind of have to hope you hit the right one, I guess. I think if you mess up at least once, it gets a little bit easier, so I don't know. We're just gonna hit this random thing. Bada bing, bada boom. Shoot you in the face. No remorse. And it was not the correct one, because why wouldn't it? Why would it be? Alright, there. Now it's obvious which one it is. Can you tell why the one that it is the way it is? Because one of those chain chomps is acting significantly more feisty than the other ones. So, ta-da! The one we hit the first time wasn't the correct one, but this time it is. And then he's all like, dang, I guess I probably shouldn't have eaten that one random object at the worst possible moment in time. Had I waited like 2 minutes, or at least just wait for them to hit the button first, and then I ate it, and there would be no problems. I wouldn't be dead. Everything would be fantastic. But no, he had to eat that thing right then, right there, and now he's dead for it. This is why you ask before you chew on things, okay? Seriously. And alright, that extraordinarily bizarre and pointless detour into the sewers has finally ended. Onwards.